Welcome to the Art of Marx, part 47. Tonight I'm going to be focusing on the 1951 plastic tender, specifically sharing a way that I've converted some 4-wheel tenders to 8-wheel tenders. And I kind of have a rule of thumb on the 4-wheel cars. You know, if they're in good shape like this, I leave them alone, but once these trucks are broken, I feel like they're fair game to convert to 8-wheel. And so this is what a 4-wheel caboose looks like, and I know a lot of you have converted these already. It's really a no-brainer, where you cut the truck facades off and cut off this little support that holds the coupler on both ends, maybe one end. And like, for instance, this yellow Union Pacific is a conversion, and it looks like an 8-wheel. It's really simple because it has the 2 slots on one end and a screw on the other, and the holes are already there. You can see the slots on this 4-wheel, and you can see the hole on the 4-wheel. So it's a really easy conversion. There's another pacemaker. Used to be a 4-wheel, now it's an 8-wheel. So those are pretty simple. The tenders, however, are a little more difficult. And the problem is, when you take a tender, it's got a metal base, it's got 2 screws, you pull it out, it has 2 tube-shaped pieces that receive the screw. Well, when you take apart a 4-wheel tender, there's nothing to put a screw into, and it really is difficult to take this base and put it on to this shell. So what I've come up with is a block of wood. It's just 3/4 inch pine, and just to give you an idea, pull the tape measure out here, 5 3/4 long by 1 3/4 wide. And if you notice, there's a couple of raised areas for support, and I've just made a couple of notches on the table saw. And then also on the front end of the tender, there's a depression, and I've had to clear a little bit of material away. And so this will fit really snugly into the shell, and I'm not going to push it down because they're hard to get out. So these ones over here have already been painted black, and okay, there's the part that's been cut away for a depression, and it'll slide in there really snugly. It's black. If you paint it a little more heavily, it'll look like sheet metal. And then I've got the holes pre-drilled for the trucks, and put the couplers on, and it's really easy. Now, I found that they're not all the same. So take, for instance, the Cape Canaveral. They have these raised areas right here. And I also found out that the 5 3/4 doesn't fit. So I had to cut them a little bit shorter, and I had to cut a slot in the end to accommodate the slot on both ends. And so same with the Baltimore and Ohio. I think this is Mexican Marx, and it's got the same issue. So I've got to cut slots, and I've got to cut it shorter. And I think the length, yeah, instead of 5 3/4, it's 5 9/16. So it's much easier to trim your wood piece to fit the car and not trim the car. So let me put a few of these together, and I will show you the finished product. I was able to finish 6 or 7 of these. Got the Cape Canaveral. Actually, I did 2 of those. There's another one over there. Got a Union Pacific, 3 of the Bessemer in Lake Erie. Those are some original 8 wheels in the middle. And this Baltimore on Ohio. So stay tuned for a short slideshow that shows a combination of tender and caboose. Well, again, thanks for watching, and let me know what you think about the block idea for the 1951 tenders. And stay tuned for the Art of Marx Trains, part 48. We are going to be looking at some more modern Marx. Thanks for watching.